folks, just a reminder that tonight's 50-50 is at $900, so $450 for the winner, and that draw will be being made at the end of the first period. So if you want to buy your tickets, go to the front counter now to get them while they're still there. Place between the designated away team, the Valley Sturgeon, and the designated home team, the Swift Current Wolverines.
Welcome on inside the John Bailey Arena, ladies and gentlemen. We are just moments away from the fourth and final game of the day in the MacDonaldCup. A big week of lacrosse coming up here from this very arena, and we'll have all the action for you live and for free on BC Sports TV. Tino Farah here, your voice for the action for this game coming up between the Valley Sturgeon going up against the Swift Current Wolverines, hailing from Saskatchewan, playing on in the Prairie Gold Lacrosse League, coming into this tournament with a regular season record of 11-2, going up against the Valley Sturgeon, who just fell short second place last week in the Tier 2 Provincials to the Coquitlam Adanacs. A regular season record of 12-4, but let's step away for a moment here for the national anthem.
Our home and native land.
And with that, we are just moments away here from the game's opening face-off in this final matchup of the evening here, of the entire day in the MacDonaldCup. And if you are just joining us here for the first time this afternoon, it's a big week of lacrosse here from the John Bailey Arena, with the MacDonaldCup getting played here. It's the first time this Junior B Western Canadian Championship is being played in 27 years. Last time it was played, it was won by the Richmond Roadrunners back in '95. And it was originally played for the first time in 1968, back when the Vancouver Cablevision were the first team to win the event. And it is back here, of course, starting off as an invitational tournament with the hopes of it coming back to being eventually a provincial championship. But we got to start somewhere, and we will start from the John Bailey Arena. Both goaltenders and both teams lined up at the face-off dot and in their respective creases. Both teams on their respective benches. Referees getting one final word in with the coaching staff as they make their way towards the face-off now. For Swift Current, taking the draw will be Chase Netmaker, going up against the likes of Sean Lemishka. And we are underway. The opening draw goes the way of Swift Current, and they'll go straight to work on the offensive side of the floor, going righty strong on this set. Ball gets jarred free, a good defensive play by the Sturgeon. They immediately push base, so an early end to that offensive possession for Swift Current. And now here come the Sturgeon. Of course, the Sturgeon coming second place in the BC Junior B Tier 2 Provincials last weekend, falling short against the Adnaks, who went on to a perfect 24-0 season. And now it will be the Sturgeon looking for a championship of their own in this MacDonaldCup. Here's Everett Vetterell, surveying from distance, has his shot blocked by a member of the Wolverines defensive core. That one will go back over center, so free clear shaping up now for Swift Current. And they'll start off in the near side corner. Going to work here is Adam Zanadine. Ball goes up top, now far side over the lefties. Trying to find some room, return now over to Zanadine. Spins underneath, using his frame to try to drive low. He turns back now and sends it over to the lefties. Fake shot, trying to come around a screen. Defended well by the Sturgeon. There's a shot in the first save of the game for Luke Davidson, the starting goaltender for the Sturgeon. He's a kick save with his left leg, sending his team back to the offensive side. Starting goaltender in net for the Wolverines, wearing number 30. It's Mason Hawks, standing tall in these beautiful-looking Wolverines jerseys. And I got to say, they had us fooled for their warm-up. They came out for two warm-ups in this game, one with no gear, one with full gear, both times wearing pinnies. And it was myself and our cameraman extraordinaire, George Parra, falling victim to their tricks. We thought they were going to play this game in pinnies. But they do come out with their regular uniforms and go to work here. That shot goes just wide, picked up by a member of the Sturgeon, now pushing pace over center. Trying to sidestep the early pressure, and now here's Gabe Rempel into the offensive zone on his wrong side, but he'll take the shot anyways, and there's a save, the first one of the game from the Wolverines goaltender, Mason Hawks. Fresh 30 now for the Wolverines, or at least there should be. No reset came following the Hawks save. Unlucky break for the Sturgeon, and that second shot goes wide. Now the Wolverines have a man up to play on a breakaway, going in alone, looking for the game's opening goal. Shot goes just wide past the right leg of Davidson. And now the Sturgeon will look to answer back in transition. Still looking for the game's opening goal. Shot saved by Hawks. Rebound through the middle of the floor, up for grabs. And Swift Current will collect. Back pressure coming from Tristan Denal. He'll stay for a defensive shift after that last transition opportunity for Valley. Now Swift Current get their offense back onto the floor here. Late man off the bench is Lucas Salikin. Pass down low in the crease. They wanted the one-timer. Sliding over was Davidson to take away that chance. But it goes wide. Loose ball now off the heavy check from the Sturgeon. Gets grabbed by Valley, and they go back the other way over center. Early pressure along the perimeter from the Wolverines as Valley gets into the offensive zone. There's a shot from Vetterell, saved by Hawks, and he'll initiate some transition from his crease. Transition, clearly an early emphasis here for the Wolverines as they're looking to send a player up the floor early. They had a man up the play if they could dish the ball to him there, but instead they go into a settled offense here as they go righty strong on this set. There's a shot from distance, kicked aside by Davidson. Another one from a sharp angle, turned aside. Again, 2 quick saves from the Valley goaltender, sending his team now the other way in transition. Here's Nathan Jensen pushing the floor. He's got a man to his right in Rempel, collecting that one again on his wrong side. Now runs into a triple team, still hanging on to possession. One hand on his stick. There's a wrap check, no call. Finds a way to find some space here. Now 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Rempel sets the screen, goes down low, shot angle, wants to go 5-hole, but Hawks shuts the door. Stick turned a little bit, but was strong enough in the 5-hole to keep that one from falling into too dangerous of a location. Now Swift Current back into the offensive zone. They'll go lefty strong this time around. Now driving around and circling back in the corner is Carter Michaluk. Passes that one down through the middle, goes off the sideboards. Loose ball up for grabs. Now 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Far side feed shot from distance, kicked aside by Davidson. An easy save for him, but a big rebound now collected by the Sturgeon, and they sprint the floor once again. One defender to beat, muscling his way through for the Sturgeon is Gibbs. There's a shot from Vetero, loose ball through the middle of the floor. A low subber saved with the stick. Now Vetero grabs it once again, spinning away from some pressure. Fresh 30 to work with as they get some fresh legs back out onto the floor now. Vicentin fakes the shot. He's got a man down low on the crease, wants the toe drag instead. Shot from a sharp angle, saved by Hawks. Loose ball through the middle of the floor, and no one from Valley decided to go for it. So essentially a free clear for Swift Current as they quickly get back into the offensive zone. Ryder Turco. Strong name. Got to be a member of the all-name team here for the Swift Current Wolverines. The lefty goes to work, off ball. Pass through the middle of the floor, connects, a big collision. Loose ball goes free to Luke Davidson, and he'll quickly get that one up off the sideboards. A turnover, though, and here come the Wolverines once again. Cross past the one-timer goes wide. Loose ball goes off the corner boards, and they collect once again. Here's Braxton McAngus. Another strong name for the Wolverines. They send it behind the net. Thought about the dunk. Now they will take it. Davidson gets his right hand out to take away that chance. And now Jeremiah Gibbs will push pace over center. Having a tough time with this loose ball as now it crosses the center line. And they get it over with just about a second remaining on the 8-second count. Gabe Rempel. Defender in front of him, so he'll circle behind the cage, get his offense settled and back onto the floor. Fakes the skip pass, now avoids some pressure as he tries to spin underneath. Now comes over top, looking far side. Instead throws a subber on target. Loose ball grab by Gibbs for a moment. He'll battle for it. Big size disadvantage for Jeremiah Gibbs. He goes up against the likes of Dalen Elvis of the Wolverines. Loose ball still bobbling free. Now goes in front of the penalty boxes. Now grabbed eventually by a member of the Swift Current Wolverines, thanks to the efforts of Ryder Smith. 8 goals in the regular season for Smith, back in the Prairie Gold Lacrosse League in Saskatchewan. Helping his team roll through to 11-2-1 record. And now they're looking to go 1-0 in the first game of their tournament here in the MacDonaldCup. That one kicked aside by Davidson. Loose ball now bounces free, and Valley eventually collects. And here they come over center. Nigel Novak finds Vicentin fresh off the bench. Now the team goes back to work offensively. Starting off down low in the near side corner. They come over top and send it back over to the righties. Vicentin fakes the shot. Now he circles back. Pass to the middle. Vetero gets a shot off, saved by Hawks, his sharpest test of the game so far. And now here comes Swift Current in transition. Lane Cadrian gets the shot off, takes a big collision, but Davidson shuts the door. As Cadrian goes sliding across into the corner, he'll head off for a well-deserved break now. After applying a little bit more pressure, now gets onto his respective bench. Shots 8-7 early for Swift Current, still 11:45 to play in the first period. Now Rempel, pressured from distance once again, working the two-man game with Vetterl. Ends up on his wrong side, a heavy shot, and thought that one picked the top left corner. Officials say no. They give him the reset either way, though. Now Vetterl with it, taking a couple hacks on his low hand. Now he'll come over top, looking far side. Pass down to his right. Rempel wanted that top right corner, narrowly avoids grabbing the game's opening goal. Still 0-0 with 11:16 to play in the first period. Rempel with two early chances on that last possession. One stapled top left, just misses. The other one goes to the opposite corner, top right, and also just off the mark. Now Swift Current, again working around the perimeter. A heavy shot goes just wide. Now no call there on the trip. Lucky break for Swift Current. Valley chases this one down. A 1-on-2 opportunity forming up as they try to muscle their way through. Swim move, shot, and a goal! Game's opening goal goes the way of Valley. As cutting it alone there on an odd man rush is Tristan Denal, but an odd man rush against Valley as he went 1-on-2, beats both defenders, and goes in on top of the crease, staring down Mason Hawks. It's 1-0 with 10:47 to play in the first period for the Valley Sturgeon.
Denal. The goal is unassisted, and the time of the goal, 9:13.
Now here's Jeremiah Gibbs, waiting for the late man off the bench here for the Sturgeon in Brett Vicenton. Winds, fires, and another one for Valley. They caught a big piece of the goaltender, but it was not enough. As 36 in gray finds the back of the cage to make it 2-0. Goals less than 30 seconds apart for Valley. And now it's up to the Wolverines to try to mount their comeback in the early stages here. Still a ton of lacrosse remaining. Nothing to worry about on their side of the floor yet. But still looking for their first goal of this game, and Valley will go right back to the offensive side after winning the ensuing faceoff. Flip pass now, connecting with Isaac Rychowski. His shot deflected. Now Everett Vetterl with the one-hand pickup in front of the Swift Current bench. Pass down low to Rempel. He backs his defender in from the corner, now comes over top, 8 seconds to shoot. Rempel with a big wind-up and a save there by Hawks. Loose ball collected by a Swift Current defender. Now they'll slow things down, get their settled offense back out onto the floor. Late man joining the play is Riley Pribble. They work it from down low on the corner, trying to drive. Nothing going from some early defense there. Shot from distance, saved by Davidson. He drops low to take away any rebound that may have fallen. Quick up now to a defender. That breakout pass deflected. Some pressure coming from Swift Current. That could have been a chance in alone, but instead they take the interference call and another opportunity for Valley to get back over center. Ball goes down to the latest goal scorer, Brett Vicenton for the Sturgeon. He gets away from some pressure in the far side corner. Now here's Gibbs with it once again. Stutter step move, driving through the middle, takes a big hit, getting a shot off though. And Hawks shuts the door, getting his left leg out to hang on to that one. An impressive effort to hang on to the rebound as well, but then they throw it right out of play and back into the sticks of the Sturgeon. Now 9 minutes to play in the first period, 2-0. Rempel, nobody comes to him, so he'll take that one straight down the lane himself. An early shot in that shot clock. Now Swift Current getting it over center and back into the offensive zone. Carter Michaluk sends it up top. Late man into the play here is Turco. Ryder Turco sends it over to his left. Pribble now with a shot around a defender. Sidearm bouncer saved by Davidson. Loose ball collected by the Sturgeon. Now pushing pace, trying to get free of a couple of defenders. Turco steps over his man. And that'll be the 8-second count going against Valley. Good forecheck here for Swift Current. And we have an injured member of the Sturgeon laying down on the ground now for a couple moments. Looks like he's getting up under his own power. Just a wait to see a number here before we get confirmation. Davidson going to come off to get a water break as well, as does the likes of Mason Hawks. Both goaltenders getting a well-deserved water break, and it looks like the injured player was Tristan Denal. So he'll sit for a couple of moments, getting some attention from the trainer. Of course, he opened the scoring in this game a couple of minutes ago, but his team will head back to the defensive side now, as it'll be a fresh 30 for the Wolverines. Pribble sends it over to the far side. They again go lefty strong on this set. That skip pass off the mark, goes off the sideboards now. Loose ball still up for grabs, batted high into the air and grabbed by the Sturgeon. Into the play here is Carter Stasek. Drop pass now connecting with Logan White. White surveys, waits for Rajchowski to come in and clear some space. Now Vetterl, one defender to beat. That'll be the shot clock violation going against Valley. Nobody on the floor was aware of the shot clock there, so mental mistake will send Swift Current back to the offensive side. Drop pass now for Swift Current, Here's Lucas Salakin. They work it now to the near side. Frozy, pass through the middle, another big collision as it's Valley's opportunity now to make their presence felt. And they'll go back over center. Gabe Rempel. The dynamic offensive lefty here for Valley. Trying to work his way through, takes a big hit, narrowly avoids a major collision there, getting a shot off in the process. Swift Current now collecting on their own side of center, and they'll throw it down the floor. Now it'll go back the way of Valley as they send that one up. Long stretch pass connecting with the likes of Tristan Denal. So glad to see he's back out onto the floor after getting a rough ride a few minutes ago. Now 6:40 to play in the first period. Pass to the near side corner. Everett Vetterl fakes the pass, now surveys down low to his right. And an interference call goes against Swift Current.
Folks, this is your final call for 50-50.
Fresh 30 for Valley as they swing pass over now to Gibbs. Getting a rough ride through the middle of the floor, loses the ball in the process. Now he'll apply some back pressure, trying to earn possession back. And thanks to his efforts along with Ryan Sheldrake, they earn another fresh 30 here for the Sturgeon. Here's the Valley captain, Vetterl, sends it down low to Rempel. Spins underneath through the middle of the floor, loses the ball in the process, but flips it down low. Sharp angle bid thrown just wide from Vetterl. Rempel collects. Now 5 seconds to shoot. That one falls out of his stick. Sharp angle gets it almost on target, just wide. That'll go back over center just before the shot clock violation. Now Paul Piche into the offensive zone. Still looking for the first goal of the game for the Wolverines. Ends up on his wrong side, so we'll send it over to the righties. They try to muscle their way through. Now delayed call coming up against Valley. As getting a rough ride through the middle of the floor that time was Adam Zanadine. But he earns his team the first power play of the game as Valley makes their march towards the sin bin. Extreme Threads is your one-stop shop for customized team or company apparel, embroidery, screen printing, designs, and sublimated team uniforms. Now offering tents, banners, flags, decals, signs, and so much more. Check them out online, extremethreads.ca. First power play of the tournament now for Swift Current. They work it around the perimeter. Back up top to the point. Pribble sends it now to the near side shooter. Back up top to the point. Now far side, skip pass to the near side. Low subber, and they score. Swift Current answers back. He drew the penalty a minute ago, and then he finds the back of the net 5-hole. It's Adam Zanadine getting his first goal of the MacDonaldCup. So he just steps into one, reaching around a defender and pulling it 5-hole through Luke Davidson. Zanadine with a 17-goal regular season campaign for the Wolverines, and he strikes first for the boys in green to make this a 1-goal game now with 5:15 to play in the first. Their 11th shot of the game finally finds the back of the net, and they go right back to work on the offensive side after winning the following faceoff, now with hopes of tying this game at 2. Here's Pribble, tons of room to work with, steps into a shot, pulled it just short as it just caught a piece of the right toe of Davidson. One official calling back over, the other one calling for a reset. So that call will go in favor of Swift Current. Now back into the offensive zone with a fresh 30 to work with. Near side feed. Here's McAngus. Flip pass through the middle. They get a shot off, and they score 2 quick goals for Swift Current off the flip pass through the middle. We're all tied up, folks, 2-2 with 4:47 to play in the first. McAngus just working that 2-man game through the middle of the floor and finding the back of the net. Much like the Sturgeon did in the early stages of this game, 2 quick goals. Now it's Swift Current's turn for 2 quick strikes, and they're looking for a third now as they go right back into the offensive zone. Here's Pribble, the latest goal scorer for the Wolverines. Their captain assumes his position, now driving through off ball. Has the ball returned to him now, surveys far side, sends that pass over. 7 seconds to shoot, now cutting through the middle. Shot save, Davison. So he drops to his knees, hanging on to the rebound and getting the whistle. Now just over 4 minutes to play in the first. Valley looking for an answer and trying to reclaim their lead that they had just moments ago here in the first period. The final game for the MacDonaldCup, live here on BC Sports TV. And a reminder to all of you watching from home to check out our socials on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and of course on our YouTube channel where you're watching right now at BC Sports TV if you want to get interactive with our streams throughout this week full of lacrosse. Now Zanadine through the middle. Pribble looking for another one. Sends that pass down low to the corner just off the mark. 5 seconds to shoot here, but the loose ball collected by the Sturgeon. Sprinting the floor now for Valley is Austin Martin. Loses the ball in the process as he stumbles. He'll keep battling for it, as will Gabe Rempel, who grabs that one off the sideboards. Now spinning away, falling on top of the crease. Tough angle, losing it now in the near side corner. Somehow still comes up with it. Spinning away from a defender. Now goes over top of another one. Sharp angle shot from over top. Just pulls that one short. Now another one goes wide off the corner boards, and that will do it for that shot clock for Valley. Now Swift Current will chase it down with a man to beat, and they score! 3 straight goals for Swift Current. This time, burying post and in is Lane Kudrain. Could be Cadrain, not entirely sure. Either way, finds the back of the cage, post and in. And that's 3 straight goals now for Swift Current as they rip that one post and in. And now in the late stages here, just under 3 minutes to play. It's 3-2 for Swift Current after trailing for most of this first period. That one bounces over top of the Valley net. Swift Current will collect 2.5 to play. Pressure from distance here for Valley, but Swift Current able to break free, get a shot off, and there's another kick save for Luke Davidson. Now a turnover on the breakout attempt by Valley will send Swift Current back to the offensive zone. Piche with the toe drag spin move now to the near side. As they again go back to work offensively here. Lefty strong on this set. Pass down low to the corner. They'll round over top. Swing pass near side to Pribble. That shot low. Another chance on the rebound. A great save by Davidson. 2 quick opportunities for Swift Current. Now a big collision in front of the Valley bench. Sends a player sprawling to the floor. Now their captain, Vetterl, sends that to the far side. Rachowski wasn't quite expecting that, so he has to chase it down. Still can't collect. As Rempel spins away from a check, hanging on to possession here with 1.5 minutes to play in the first. Rempel still with it. 5 seconds to shoot. One hand flip over to Vetterl, has his shot blocked, and Swift Current collects. Grabbing this one and getting over center quickly. Now they'll wait for their settled offense to get onto the floors. The physicality picking up here in the late stages of the first period. Shot from distance, saved by Davidson. Loose ball goes to the corner. And Valley will collect. Nice spin move, breaking free in front. Now a partial breakaway, diving through, and they score! An individual effort from the Sturgeon as they go in alone and tie this game. 50 seconds to play in the first period. Matthew Ortute going in alone, spinning around the one defender to beat. Had him draped all over his back and falls through the crease, but gets the shot off in time. And as I mentioned, under 1 minute to play here in the first, 50 seconds to be exact. Valley answers right back to end that 3-goal run for Swift Current and tie this game up. Will remain 5-on-5 here as there is still some time separating the game clock and the shot clock. Now Brett Vicentin has got a goal in this first period. He spins away from some pressure. Flip pass to the middle. Gibbs with the shot, and Hawks turns it aside. Now off the reset, Valley can hang on for the last shot if they so choose. Davidson will remain in the Valley crease. Vicentin, skip pass over to Vetterl. Gets underneath, now on top of the crease. Has the stick tied up, still gets a shot off. And Hawks stands tall. Now he's got a man up to play. We'll send that up. And that goes high off the ceiling. 2.6 seconds to play. Valley sends that one all the way down the floor towards the goal. It goes wide, and that will wind down our first period here in a tight game between Swift Current and Valley. We'll head off towards the first intermission, all tied up, 3 aside on BC Sports TV. Don't go too far, ladies and gentlemen. We got second period action coming up in about 10 minutes' time. going up 2-0 before Swift Current climbed back and tied the game at 2 apiece. Then it was back and forth. Swift Current took the lead, and eventually Valley tied things up, and that's how we got where we are now. Goals for Swift Current coming from Cadran, Pribble, and Xanadine. Meanwhile, for the Valley Sturgeon, Austin Martin, Tristan Denal, and Brett Vicenton, your goal scorers for the boys in gray. Both teams now making their way towards their respective benches and towards the face-off dot. Let's get back to the action here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the MacDonaldCup final game of the day. Day 1, might I add. And we got plenty of more free lacrosse coming to your screens here on BC Sports TV. So keep your eyes tuned in to all of our channels. And a reminder to throw us a follow. Get interactive on the streams if you want to throw any questions, comments, anything my way. You can hit me up on Twitter at Ferratino, on Instagram at Tino Ferra. Brief delay here as we sort out the score clock situation. And there was a brief delay as well. If you are watching from home and you haven't been near the arena at all today, there was also a brief delay towards the start of this game because the fire alarms went off. Just what you want to see on day 1 of this MacDonaldCup action. But we are back underway here in the final game of the day. Rempel now spinning through, getting a low shot off of a spin move. That one goes just wide. Loose ball collected by Everett Vetterell, and now here come the Sturgeon once again. Vetterell looking for a shot lane. Instead, he'll send it down low to Gabe Rempel. Now pass to the middle, shot, and a wide attempt there from Jeremiah Gibbs, who gets up limping a little bit. Looks like favoring his right leg as he heads off towards his bench. Keep an eye on that one as we progress through the game. But either way, it is a fresh 30 for Swift Current, their first offensive set of the second period. They work it to the lefties. First down low to the corner. Nice spin move coming through. Another one through the middle of the floor. Saved by Davidson. Second chance. A great save by Davidson. 2 quick ones for the Valley goaltender as the loose ball battle continues along the near sideboards. Still up for grabs here. Valley digging for it with 3 members of the Sturgeon in for it now. They eventually do come up with it. And we'll send this one over center. One man to beat, and they do so successfully thanks to the efforts of Matthew Ortute. There's a shot from distance as Rempel sailed that one wide. Correction, I said off the hop that there was a goal in the first period from Austin Martin. It actually was Ortute that found the back of the net. That beautiful goal in transition, diving across the crease. Now a breakaway for Swift Current, going in alone, and they score! Ryder Smith finds the back of the net to give Swift Current the lead once again. It's 4-3, less than 2 minutes into the second period. We set it back in the first period. There's clearly an emphasis on transition for the Wolverines in this game so far, and you saw it there once again, sailing a player up over center, waiting for the breakaway pass, and they were able to hit him this time around. Now their 20th shot of the game finds the back of the net for the 4th time to make it 4-3. Now the loose ball following the faceoff goes the way of Swift Current as they slow their way back into the offensive zone. That pass deflected off of a Valley stick. Now ends up in the Swift Current bench. Good pressure there on a size mismatch going against Valley. That's Wyatt Lissamore causing a turnover and sending his team right back to the offensive side here, looking for the game's tying goal once again. Now Vetterell with a sidearm rip. That one goes wide into the back of the net, onto the back of the net, I should say, for the Wolverines. Now they get back over center. They went on a 3-goal run in the first period. It helped them grab their first lead of the game before Valley was able to tie it. Now they'll try to go on a run once again as they work it around the perimeter. Swing pass now to the near side. Now down low to the corner, just 4 seconds to shoot. They come over top looking to get their hands free. A floater goes just wide. That one fired from the stick of Lucas Salakin. Now here comes Valley on the wrong side of the floor going in alone. Big save by Hawks, swinging his left arm to take away that top right corner. And they'll just send this one all the way down the floor, connecting into an unintended stick of Luke Davidson. So he sends that up the floor back into his Sturgeon teammate's stick as they go back to work on the offensive side. Swing pass off the mark. Vicentin couldn't collect that one off the sideboards. Now Swift Current back into the offensive zone once again. Pass through the middle, a one-timer goes high and wide, out of play. Turnover will send the Sturgeon back the other way. Here's Gabe Rempel. Steps into a shot right into the crest of Hawks. Again, a quick breakout pass over center, just off the mark. They'll try to chase it down, and they will do so successfully. Grady Henderson in the far side corner. So he waits for some offensive reinforcements, fakes the shot, now sends it through, but a good stick check there from Jensen. That was Nathan Jensen of the Sturgeon. Now just 8 seconds to shoot here. It's Ryder Turco, sidesteps a man, now sends it down low to the corner. 3 on the shot clock, a shot around a defender on target. Davidson swallows that one. Gets the whistle, and he'll initiate some transition for his Valley team. Now just over 4 minutes into the second period, still 4-3 in favor of the Wolverines. Late man off the bench here is Isaac Rychowski. He drives through the middle off ball. Vetterl working on a defender now. Toe drag now shoots around another one. That one also goes wide, deflected. No, they'll say no deflection. So back over goes against the Sturgeon and a free clear for the Wolverines. They'll start off in the near side corner. Here's Paul Piche. Now pass through the middle, shot partially blocked, ends up behind the Valley cage. Davidson will collect and send a quick up near center. A suicide pass and a big collision there. Stepping into his man there for Swift Current was Ryder Smith, making his presence felt and sending his team back onto the offensive side. Now Zenedine with it again. He scored the power play marker for Swift Current. He'll head off to get another lefty on the floor. There's a low shot, goes wide. Now loose ball picked up from the corner, and they'll get called for in the crease. Possession Valley. Breakout pass near center. Jensen has a man up the floor. He'll connect with Gibbs, going in alone, fakes the shot. Now goes over, but a bigger save by Hawks as that one now bounces over the goal line, but after the whistle, still 4-3 in favor of Swift Current. Really trying to lock it down on the defensive side of the floor are the Wolverines as they continue to go to work offensively. The shot again around a defender, falling, but getting a piece of that one was Luke Davidson. Low save there with his left hand. Now it's the captain, Everett Vetterl. Decides against the breakaway pass. He'll get that into the offensive zone himself. A shot from distance, saved by Hawks. Loose ball grabbed by Rychowski. Now Rempel returns it to Vetterl once again. So those two connect on the two-man game. Shot trickled through, and they score. It's the captain with his first of the tournament. Everett Vetterl ties it up at 4. An 18-goal regular season campaign for the Valley captain. Now he has his first of the MacDonaldCup. And a massive one at that to get things all squared up here on their 24th shot of the game. It's going to be one that Mason Hawks is going to want back because he got a big piece of it, but it just wasn't enough. Now bodies colliding here causes a turnover, and Valley with an opportunity to try to grab 2 straight. They look to reclaim the lead for the first time since the midway point of the first period. They'll start off the far side. Now skip pass over to Vicentin. Comes over top, returns it now to the lefties. Rempel sets the screen. They work from distance. Return now to Gabe Rempel. 5 seconds to shoot. Trying to get his offhand free. Now gets it off, but sends it high and wide off the corner boards and back over center. This will be a free clear for the Wolverines to get their offensive unit back onto the floor. This possession will start off in the stick of Riley Pribble. Swift Current captain sends it over to his left. So they'll go righty strong here on this set. Now swing pass to the near side. Shot from distance, swallowed by Davidson, again dropping low. The Valley goaltenders had an impressive start to this tournament here. Both goaltenders in this game really have been strong. But the latest save this time around coming from the Sturgeon, as you'll have to stare down the Swift Current offense another time here. Shot from distance, swallowed there by, or blocked, excuse me, by a Valley defenseman. That one goes back over center. It's a 2-on-1 shaping up here, a 3-on-1. Here's Vetterol through the middle of the floor, saved by Hawks. Wants to quick up once again to initiate some transition. And they'll slow things down to get their settled offense back on. McAngus now joins the rush as Pribble eats a wrap check, no call. Another big hit through the middle of the floor will draw an interference call going against Swift Current. Now Rachowski driving off the bench, couldn't get a clean handle on the pass. Ends up behind the Swift Current net. And it's the goaltender in Mason Hawks taking an interference call. Now Rachowski with a low subber, a rising one on target. Handled easily by the Wolverines goaltender, and that'll send his team back over center. They bobble that one for a moment. Now they have to be quick, but their breakout pass gets deflected, and they'll give it right back to the Sturgeon. Everett Vetterol. Seems like he's going out both the O gate and the D gate here in this game. Now he'll make a mad dash towards the bench and get a well-deserved break as Gabe Rempel comes on to replace him. Now Brett Vicenton returned to the middle of the floor. A big hit from Swift Current once again as they continue to lay the body. Now a breakout pass for Swift Current goes awry, and the Sturgeon will get back into the offensive zone. Shots 26-22 in favor of Valley. So that pass gets collected by Jeremiah Gibbs. Glad to see he's back out after going off, favoring his right leg on his last possession. Now he'll head off for a change as Swift Current clears center. Pressure from distance coming from Valley. Swift Current running straight into a double team here. High hit, no call, but they muscle their way through anyways. That shot goes wide as Adam Zenedine was looking for his second, but now a breakout pass here on a breakaway gets taken away by Swift Current, getting back into the defensive zone as Nathan Jansen was looking for what would have been not only his first goal of the tournament, but his first goal this season. No goals through the regular season for the assistant captain of the Valley Sturgeon, a stay-at-home defender who can really push pace here, but unable to find the back of the net this season so far. And now a delayed call coming up against the Wolverines as Hawks fights that one off with his shoulder. Another big hit there behind the cage, and we'll get a legal substitution call going against Swift Current. This will be the first man advantage for Valley. The Cat and Fiddle Pub are proudly and locally owned and operated for over 30 years and voted best pub in British Columbia by the province. With 2 covered and heated patios, famous traditional pub fare, and a great atmosphere. Go see why the locals love them for 3 decades running. Thank you, Cat and Fiddle, for all the support here all season long on BC Sports TV. As we continue to roll through our summer of lacrosse here, free lacrosse through all of our channels. And a reminder here, if you're a fan of lacrosse and all the free action that we bring in, we're going to be here for the remainder of this week for the MacDonaldCup. And then we hope you join us as well for next week as the Founders Cup immediately follows this tournament. But for now, we got power play action for the Sturgeon as that shot from Brett Vicenton fought off by Mason Hawks. on the power play. Now they got a man up short-handed going in alone, but they can't get a clean handle on the pass. That was Rowan Foster looking for a short-handed chance. Instead, Valley gets back into the offensive zone here and go back to the power play. Still a minute 20 remaining in their man advantage. They work it around the outside. Rempel sends it over to Vetterl. No-look pass to the near side to Vicentin. Rempel from distance has his shot blocked by a defender. Now still 15 seconds to work with. They got the reset. Not sure they should have there, but Vetterl winds, fires, and puts that one wide. Loose ball goes off the sideboards, and now we'll get the manual count from the official. Rempel showing off his hands there and his footwork to avoid the back over call. Vetterl has that one go almost over the goal line, just trickles past the legs of Mason Hawks, but a defender there to clean up that mess. And the Wolverines will go back into the offensive zone, shorthanded for another 35 seconds. Content with killing as much clock as possible here. Still 4-4 with 8:40 to play in the second period. A great individual effort there by Swift Current. That was Jackson Beamon eating a ton of clock. Now just 10 seconds remaining in the Valley power play. Vetterl fakes the shot, sends it back up top to the point. Rempel now to the near side. Return to the point. Vicentin skips it over to Vetterl. That shot saved, or blocked rather, by Swift Current, and that'll go all the way back down into the Valley end of the floor. So Rempel will just have to send this one the length as we go back to 5-on-5 action here from the John Bailey Arena. The final game of the day in the MacDonaldCup. 3 games previously going on, all of them action-filled affairs, and we'll hope you'll join us tomorrow for 4 more games. Swift Current wanted the one-timer, couldn't get it cleanly. Now the one-hand flip through the middle of the floor, picked off by Nathan Jensen. Sends that one through the middle, and they got a breakaway in clean, going in alone off the post. Austin Martin denied there by the goaltender's best friend, ripping that one off the iron. What would have been the 5-4 goal for the Sturgeon instead will remain tied, but their offense back out onto the floor now. Righty strong. There's a shot from distance, goes just wide. Rychowski with it. Wanted that short side, but handled well by Mason Hawks. He squeezes that one underneath of his glove. He'll hang on for the whistle and send the Wolverines now back into the offensive zone. Riley Pribble. Late man off here is Ryder Turco. He has the ball now, waiting for the screen. Flip pass through the middle. 2-man game works, but they couldn't get a clean look through. They maintained possession now with 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Turco spins underneath as they get the pick through. A high hit there, no call. As Swift Current surely will have some words for the officials after that one. High stick into the neck. Now Vetterl with a shot on target. Hawks turns that one aside and quickly sends that one up over center. Now the back overcall as that one deflects off the stick of Dalen Elvis. And back onto their wrong side of the floor. So here come the Sturgeon once again, just over 6 minutes to play in the second. Jeremiah Gibbs drives through, loses it in the process. Now loose ball collected by the Wolverines. A 3-man press here. The Swift Current able to break free for the moment. That pass deflected. Who touched it last? Both officials discuss, and they'll say goes off of a Wolverine stick and into their own bench. So it will be possession Valley. Jeremiah Gibbs going to start off this set. Shots 31-22 in favor of Valley. Gibbs heads off for a change. Replacing him is Isaac Rychowski. Now Rempel steps into a shot. That one might have caught a piece of the iron and back into their own side of the floor. Davidson will collect now. Long breakout pass over center. Brett Vicentin beats his man. Two defenders in front of him, sends that down low to the corner, one of the one-timer, but won't get one as that deflects off of the stick of his intended target. Now a backhanded shot, it almost trickles through as they go in alone on Davidson. And he stands tall that time around. Almost a lead back in favor of Swift Current. Instead, it's possession, Valley. But they'll give it right back to the Wolverines as another deflected pass in and out of their own sticks. And now Swift Current will give it right back to Valley. The 5-second count before they could get it out of their own crease. So a full 30 now for the Sturgeon to work with. Here's Vicentin, pass through the middle, it connects, shot goes wide. That one's gonna give the coaching staff nightmares, not being able to get that one on target from right on top of the crease in a tied game 4-4. Another shot from distance and a stick save from Davidson. Quick pass near center, picked off by Swift Current. Now narrowly avoiding the center line, tripped up again. No call here as Valley battles for it once again. Now a breakaway from their own side of center. And here comes Jensen, and he scores! 5-4 for Valley. Nathan Jensen finds the back of the net. Swift Current certainly has a case to be able to argue, in my humble opinion, here on what could have been a couple of back overcalls. Either way, the loose ball goes free to the center of the floor. And right place, right time for Nathan Jensen. Mentioned him earlier in this period. No goals through this season for number 9 in gray. More of a stay-at-home defenseman with some athletic abilities, and he shows them off there going in alone. Now, Rempel wanted that one-timer over to Gibbs, couldn't get a clean look, and the loose ball gets collected by Swift Current. Under 4 to play now with the Wolverines looking for the game's tying goal. Something they did so successfully back in the first period, and they'll have to do it once again now in the late stages of the second. They'll start off in the near side corner, now coming over top, surveying to the far side. Return now to the near side. Lucas Salakin sends that one back up top. Shot goes just wide. Loose ball, clean up, and they score! From right on top of the crease, they answer right back. Ryder Turco puts that 5-hole past Davidson. Turco's been all over the floor in this game. He floats his way through on top, catches his defender sleeping as he collects the loose ball off the end boards and deposits that one into the back of the net. Just moments after Valley took the lead once again, Swift Current gets us tied up once again. Now, just over 3 minutes to play in the second period. It's 5-5 from the John Bailey Arena. Here they come once again, cutting through the middle. Michaluk sends that over to the far side. Fake shot coming over top, and they score again! Two quick strikes from Swift Current. Riley Pribble finds his second of the game as he rips that one around a defender. Lifting his arms there in celebration, and why wouldn't he? He again reclaims the 1-goal lead for the Wolverines. That's 3 goals here overall within about a minute. But the 2 latest ones from Swift Current, they tie the game and reclaim the lead. Now here comes Valley. Once again trying to tie this game as they cut through, fake the backhand shot. There's another one that goes high off the shoulder of Hawks. Now a breakaway from their own side of center for Swift Current. Henderson going alone, and a save by Davidson. Grady Henderson, and a big hit near center. And we're going to get a penalty coming up against Swift Current, I think, for that one. We'll see what the call here is. I don't know about that one. That hit looked clean to me. Looks like we're going to get a call either way, and we'll remain 5-on-5 if I'm not mistaken here on offsetting calls. Swift Current absolutely laying the boom here near center off of what Jeff Fisher earlier this afternoon called a hospital pass for obvious reasons. So I believe I saw a roughing going against Valley, and it'll be a charge going up against Swift Current. And again, if I'm not mistaken, this should remain 5-on-5 here on offsetting calls. We'll see what the official word from the official is, but they'll say it's Wolverines possession. And yes, it will remain 5-on-5 here. So keep your eyes on number 15 for the Wolverines. 2 goals in this game on hat trick watch here in their first game of the tournament. A 24-goal regular season campaign for Riley Pribble back in the Prairie Gold Lacrosse League for these, Swift Current Wolverines. I was going to call them the Saskatchewan Wolverines, my mistake. Tongue-tied here after a handful of games, but we march on BC Sports TV, and we thank you all for joining us here across all of our channels. That breakout pass picked off by the Wolverines. They again go in a lone shot, kicked aside by Davidson. Everett Vetterell collects the loose ball. He's got just a couple seconds to get over the center line, and he does so now successfully. He'll hand it off to Gabe Rempel and head off for a change. Rempel down low to the corner. It's Curtis Haynes surveys. Now down low to Gabe Rempel. He comes over top, steps into a shot, saved by Hawks. Believe that one hit him up high, maybe off the face mask and out of play. Fresh 30 now for the Sturgeon. Minute and a half to play in the second period. Shot around a screen, kicked aside by Hawks. Rebound collected by the Sturgeon. Now Rempel pressured on his wrong side of the floor. He's trying to spin through a double team, loses the ball, but maintained by the Sturgeon. Now they'll circle, sending it over to the near side as Gibbs has that one go wide. Now 10 seconds to shoot. Gibbs has his pass deflected, goes high off the end boards. Rempel puts that one off the post, and that'll go out of play into the rafters. Now 59 seconds to play in the second period. Sheldrake sends that one over to Rachowski. He collects once again near center. Finds some space. As he uses the screen from Rempel, winds, fires, and ties this game! 6-6, 42 seconds to play in the second. This time it's Ryan Sheldrake getting into the action, finding the back of the net for the first time this tournament. Now that's 6 goals in this game for Valley from 6 different goal scorers. A well spread out attack from the Sturgeon. And the back and forth affair continues from the John Bailey Arena. We are once again all tied up in the late stages. Now here's Jeremiah Gibbs, one defender to beat. Tries to go underneath, now spinning through the middle on top of the crease, and he scores again! Jeremiah Gibbs, 2 straight for the Sturgeon, and they reclaim the 1-goal advantage. Another strong individual effort. This time it's Jeremiah Gibbs as he goes in tight on a defender, spins through to the middle, and puts that one low bottom left past Mason Hawks. 7-6 now with 33 seconds to play. Gibbs chasing down the loose ball following the face-off once again. He's got 3 Wolverines in front of him, so naturally loses that battle. Now Swift Current quickly into the offensive zone. Pass gets deflected before they can get a clean look. Loose ball still up for grabs now. They collect behind the Valley net. Under 10 seconds to play. Bravo comes over top. Pass now to the point. Shot from distance. Saved. Second chance opportunity, but a good stick check there by the Valley captain to take away what would have been a third straight opportunity for Swift Current. And we will now close out the second period. A frantic one on both sides of the floor. Valley on top with 20 minutes to go, 7-6. What a second period it was here, ladies and gentlemen. Live on BC Sports TV, and we're going to be back in about 10 minutes time for third period action. We're live from the John Bailey Arena in the MacDonaldCup. Welcome back inside the John Bailey Arena, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to BC Sports TV, where we're bringing you live and free lacrosse action here from the MacDonaldCup. The final game of day number 1. It is the Valley Sturgeon who head into the third and final frame with a 1-goal lead over the Swift Current Wolverines. And let me tell you here, folks, it has been a back and forth affair if you are just joining us. And before we get too farther, let me just pay some bills here real quick, shall we? Because it's been generally speaking, a 5-on-5 game for the most part all the way through. Not a lot of penalties in this one, but gives us an opportunity to tell you about the new format BC Sixes brings you. Are you looking to try the new Olympic format of lacrosse? BC Sixes has you covered. Think box lacrosse in the sun, non-stop action, non-stop fun. And you can find their media on Instagram under BC Sixes and register at bc6s.com today. And let me tell you here, folks, as someone who was there working the event last September, it was quite the event indeed. And it's going to be another great one coming up this September. So if you are interested in looking to sign up for a team or get your own team signed up, make sure you check them out online, bc6s.com, or on their Instagram at bc6s. But we got a game to get through here in the final period from the John Bailey Arena, and Swift Current, looking to tie this game, earns the opening possession following the face-off. Now quickly into the offensive zone. Pass through the middle, off the mark, but it comes free to the corner. Shot, an early save there from Davidson, staring down the likes of Isaac Froese. Now a big hit near the center of the floor, and a fresh 30 for Swift Current. A twister, an underhand shovel shot on target. Sharp test there for Davidson, and he stands tall. Now long pass near center, and almost another hospital pass there. As Swift Current now grabs this one off the Valley turnover, quickly back into the offensive zone. But they'll give it right back as they send an errant pass over center. And man, oh man, George, I don't know if you can get a good camera angle here of the backup goaltender here for Swift Current, but I am just looking at his hair right now. What a mullet that is. Jeff Fisher earlier today was talking about the all-hair team. If the backup goaltender for the Swift Current Wolverines is not the captain of that team, I quit. We will absolutely get that on camera when we get our opportunity, but it is Valley possession here, and Rempel fires that one off the iron. It's going to go back over center now. Swift Current trying to chase it down, looking for an opportunity to take that one towards the cage. The battle will continue now behind the Valley cage. Grabbed by Gabe Rempel, and he'll send it up the floor. Now he'll head off for a change, as will the Swift Current defender in Ryder Smith. He's got a goal in this game as well. But his team will have to get another defensive stop as Everett Vetero backpedals away from some pressure. Let's get past through the middle, intended for Rajkowski. That one just out of his reach. Now 5 seconds to shoot. Valley still with it around the perimeter, so they'll just dump that one down towards the Wolverines' goal. Collected by their starting goaltender in Mason Hawks, who has stood tall, facing 40 shots his way. 34 saves on the evening so far. Certainly one of the stronger points for the Wolverines. They continue to try to tie this game early in the third period. Near side feed, now 10 seconds to shoot. Skip pass over to the far side as they survey from distance. Pass to the middle, just off the mark. Shot from around the corner. It trickles, but it goes out the other side. Davidson got a big enough piece of that one and slid over to his left. Loose ball still through the middle. Now Valley will collect, and they'll push over center. Here's Gage O'Neill driving on his defender. The aforementioned Ryder Smith applies the pressure. Now Valley will send to the near side. Down low, Vetero. Spins underneath, now goes back to the top, fakes the pass, and now tries to send it, but a breakaway from their own side of center here for Swift Current. Here comes Ryder Smith in a lone save, Davidson. Getting a huge piece of that one with his stick. That'll send Smith back to his defensive side of the floor. He's got to be exhausted after pushing pace, looking for his second of the game. And he'll once again head towards the offensive side of center for just a moment. Swift Current now will have to send it over to him, but it's out of his reach. He might be stuck out there for another defensive shift here. Ryder Smith has to be exhausted. Now Gabe Rempel with a subber on target, saved by Hawks. Swift Current again will collect the loose ball. Now finally Ryder Smith will be able to get off for a change. Wolverines look to get their settled offense going here as Valley being instructed by their coaching staff to pressure early. Good job now of keeping Turco to the perimeter, but he finds a pass to the near side. A subber around a defender, a bouncing subber. You don't see those too often. That one fired from Adam Zanadine, looking for his second of the game. He had a power play marker back in the first period. Denied that one, though, and Valley goes back to the offensive zone. Here's Ryan Sheldrake. Over to Brett Vicentin, fakes the pass, now surveys through the middle of the floor. Pass to Rachowski on the crease, saved by Hawks. Now again, Swift Current has a man up the play. They can't connect with him, though, as that one just out of the reach of Lane Caudrain. He scored way back in the first period. Swift Current might be looking the most dangerous on their offensive side in transition here. Again, we've talked about it a few times. They like to push pace from the defensive side, looking for that early breakaway pass. But standing tall through this game is Luke Davidson, and he's continued to do so through this third period. Now Rempel has that shot stopped by Hawks. That'll go off of his left arm and out of play. Now a fresh 30 for the Sturgeon. Here's Sheldrake, over to Rempel, now down low to Vetterl. He takes a slash and comes over top, now spinning through the middle, sidesteps another man. A bouncer saved by Hawks, loose ball collected by Swift Current. And there's their early breakout once again. Now Pribble streaking through the middle, partial break on his wrong side, shot, will it trickle through? Davidson reaches back. Pribble threw his arms in the air, he thought that one would count. But Luke Davidson pulls it off the goal line again, robbing Swift Current of the game's tying goal. There's a shot, a bouncer from the outside, saved by Hawks. Rachowski trying to battle for it, can't collect the loose ball. He'll apply some pressure, but Swift Current again clears the zone over center. Here's Caudrain. Gets around the first defender on his wrong side, so he's got another defender cutting him off. Circles back in the corner. Layman off the bench here is Frozy. He'll slow down. 15 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Now they'll send it over to the far side. Here's Michaluk, spinning back. Late man off the bench here is Zenadine. Now just 5 seconds to shoot. Shot blocked by a defender. Nathan Jensen putting his body on the line, keeping his team in front by 1. He had a breakaway goal back in the second period. Now he cuts through the middle, pass to Vetterl on the crease, and he scores! Everett Vetterl gets another one. 2-goal lead for Valley. A massive primary assist to Nathan Jensen, who draws the initial jump from the defender, flips that down low onto the crease to his captain in Everett Vetterl. Now the first player for the Sturgeon with multiple goals in this game. Up to this point, it was 7 goals from 7 different goal scorers. Now Vetterl finds the back of the net for the second time in Valley's first game of the MacDonaldCup. Now Turco cuts through, gets a shot off, saved by Davidson. Rebound goes right into the back of the stick of Pribble, who gets another shot kicked aside once again by Davidson. It's been the busier of the 2 goaltenders in this third period, with Swift Current trying to climb back into this game, now down by 2. Valley with some heavy perimeter pressure. Turco tries to find some room. They'll send it down low. Fake pass. They want the one-timer. They narrowly avoid stepping through the crease. Davidson takes away any daylight there to stop the in-tight Swift Current chance. But they'll just dump that one down into the Wolverines' end, and it ends up bouncing off the corner boards right into the stick of Ryan Sheldrake. Caught his defenders sleeping, 3 of them actually for Swift Current. Now Vetero going in looking for his hat trick goal, stopped by Hawks. Second chance now through the middle. If they get the rebound, Gibbs will collect. Should have got a reset. Now they will get it, but Swift Current is going to push pace the other way. See how they play this, as it's a 3-on-3 opportunity, turns into a 3 versus 5, so they'll slow up, get their offensive reinforcements back onto the floor. Shot from distance, save with the right leg by Davidson. Rebound goes all the way back over center. Now Froese collects. Now Zinedine missteps, losing the ball in the process. Loose ball collected by the Sturgeon. 11:22 to play in the third period. Shots pretty even, but 46-40 in favor of the Sturgeon. And man, oh man, this might be the game of the day here, folks. Saving the best for last in the MacDonaldCup. Now Rempel throws a blind backhand. That one goes wide and out of play. That'll be possession. Swift Current starting to the right of their own net. But we'll get a stoppage here, a short break for the goaltenders to get a water break, and this might be our opportunity. It is our cameraman extraordinaire with a great shot of the backup goaltender for Swift Current, Cameron Greenlee, with just some incredible hair. Again, if you missed it earlier, Jeff Fisher, one of our other broadcasters here at BC Sports TV, started making his own roster for the all-hair team, and that is your captain right there, folks. Cameron Greenlee. Unbelievable stuff. That guy better be signing autographs at some point in this tournament. I better see some people showing up with some wigs. There's a great shot of it right there. Unbelievable stuff. But it is Swift Current possession. They'll start off on their own side of center, down by 2. 11:04 to play in the third period. And we are back to the action now. They'll go lefty strong on this set. The weak side working their 2-man game as Pribble finds some room. Shot and a goal! Hat trick, Riley Pribble, as he finds the back of the cage, getting his team back within 1. The set play off the timeout for Swift Current works perfectly as they drew it up. As the Wolverines captain draws the double team, shoots around both of them, and finds the back of the net to make this 8-7 now, 10:50 to play in the third period. And again, thank you to everybody here for joining us on BC Sports TV. As we continue to bring free lacrosse all summer long. Now Valley with an opportunity going in tight. Hawks stands tall, getting his stick to take away that chance from the Valley Sturgeon. That was Tristan Denal, who was denied what would have been his second of the game had he been able to solve the likes of Mason Hawks. Again, if you do want to get interactive on our broadcast here, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on all of our socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BC Sports TV. You can send me a message as well if you feel so inclined to get interactive, as I mentioned. On Twitter at Ferratino, on Instagram at Tino Ferra. Now Vetero going in with an individual drive on top of the crease. Couldn't get that one on goal. And that'll do it for the shot clock on that set. Now 9:53 to play in the third period. Still 8-7 for the Sturgeon, but it's possession Swift Current. Bobbled pass near the center line. Wolverines got to be careful here as they now get their settled offense going. Just 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Zanity has to reach for that one off the hop. Can't get it cleanly, so he'll apply some pressure. Big hit along the sideboards as those two collide. Turns into a bit of a wrestling match, and I believe it's going to be a power play here for the Wolverines, as Adam Zenedine will send his team back to the power play, a position he was in when he scored back in the first period. And his team hopes he has some more tricks up his sleeves. Are you ready for a new ride? Metro Ford of Port Coquitlam has you covered. Check out our huge selection of quality vehicles and experience the Metro difference. Come see us today. Just the second power play of the game here for the Wolverines. As Pribble runs point, sends it now over to the far side. Returned up top as they initiate their motion. Zenedine running some interference there on a screen to the far side. That's where they want their shot to come from clearly. Now they get it off, a rising sidearm into the right shoulder of Luke Davidson. He sends that one all the way down the floor as the two goaltenders play pass for just a moment. But it will be possession Wolverines. They get back over the center line. Riley Pribble sends it over to the far side. Now Zenedine. Return now to the lefties. Down low through the middle. Pribble tries to pull that one 5-hole. Davidson shuts the door. That one was close, folks. Almost got us tied up at 8 now. Swift Current chases that down to avoid the back overcall, and their power play will go back to work. With just over 50 seconds remaining, there's a screen shot by Zenedine, goes wide. Well, let's say Davidson caught a piece of it to get a rebound, and another great save by Luke Davidson. Sliding to his right and getting his shoulder up on the one-timer. Valley goaltender stands tall once again. Swift Current from behind the net. Pass up top, through, blocked by a defender. They grab this one again just before crossing the center line. Now under 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They'll try the hidden ball trick. Over to Pribble. Gets underneath through the middle, eats a check, and can't get a shot off. The penalty killers of the Valley Sturgeon standing tall in their first game of this MacDonaldCup Invitational Championship. Now just 11 seconds remaining in the Valley penalty to Gage O'Neill, standing in the box, ready to rejoin the play. Jeremiah Gibbs rounds the corner, gets underneath of a double team. He's got some room to drive if he wants. Turns back now after absorbing a double team. In comes the third defender, gets the ball jarred free. Rachowski trying to help him out, but Swift Current comes up with it. Now they're pushing pace the other way in transition. Pass to McAngus, off the mark, goes ricocheting off the corner boards. Valley now will collect in front of their crease and head back to their offensive side. Cutting through, getting a shot off, save by Hawks. Tristan Denal again denied what would have been his second. He's had a handful of transition opportunities, scoring on one of them, but can't find his second just yet. 6:40 to play in the third period. Brett Vicentin gets called on an offensive hold, so that'll send possession in favor of Swift Current. Tried to get away with one there, but the far side official blows that one dead. Now Swift Current going lefty strong again. Spinning away from some pressure is Ryder Turco. Pass through the middle of the floor. Pribble gets a handle on it, puts his shot wide from his wrong side. Rebound goes off the sideboards. Swift Current collects. 7 seconds to shoot. Deflected pass now over to the far side. Shot from the perimeter, blocked again by Valley. They've probably blocked 4 shots in this third period alone. Now pass to the near side. Vetterl looking for his hat trick marker. He tries to spin, does so, getting through the middle of the floor. Saved by Hawks. Rebound goes back to Valley. Again, return to Vetterl. On top of the crease, wanted to pull that far side. A great save by Hawks. Robbing Rempel. Again, Valley collects the rebound now. Looking for another opportunity. Down low, Vetterl sidesteps a man. Spinning through the middle. Can't get his hands free. The flip pass through gets picked off by Swift Current. Now Valley causes a turnover near center, and they're going to go back to work offensively. 5:15 to play in the third period. They'll give it right back to the Wolverines, though. They got a man up to play, a 3-on-1, a 2-on-1. If they hurry the pass out of the reach of the intended target in Brock Smith. Now collects behind the Valley net. Trying to spin away from some pressure. Gets it jarred free. Loses it. Still up for grabs. Collected now by the Sturgeon. Big collision in front of the Valley bench. Still hanging on to possession. How has he not lost this one yet? What an effort by Carter Stasek. As now he flips it over to Gabe Rempel and heads off for a change. Pass to the middle intended for Vicentin. Out of his reach. Vetterl on the stick check there takes away what would have been a clear-cut breakaway for Swift Current. Now Rempel collects. And Vetterl back into the play. 3 seconds to shoot. Shot goes wide. That'll go all the way back down into the Valley end of the floor. My, oh my, frantic action on both sides of the floor here with the Wolverines looking to tie this game at 8. 4:20 to play now in the third period as they swing that one, trying to send it to the near side. Goes off the sideboards, instead now sending Valley on a 2-on-2 opportunity. Pass to Jensen. Good hands there to take that one off the corner boards. Sends that one through to the middle of the floor. Reaching for it this time around is Sheldrake. Looking for his second goal of the game. Now a broken stick. So there's now a Wolverines defenseman without his weapon. Rychowski couldn't get a clean handle on that pass. One to the one-timer. Now Swift Current going in on the wrong side of the floor. Swim move through the middle on his right side. Shot and a save by Davidson. He goes down to one knee to take away the 5-hole and just falls on top of the rebound. Now 3.5 to play in the game. It's still 8-7 for the Sturgeon. Gibbs eats a slash, spins away from some pressure, uses a screen from Rychowski. Vetterl picks the top corner, completing the hat trick. 2-goal lead for the Sturgeon. What a shot from Everett Vetterl, and we're going to have a great angle of it here on our broadcast, folks, as the captain steps into one and stings that top right corner. He's the captain for a reason. Clutch players come up at clutch times, and he finds the back of the net for his third goal of the game. Nine to 7 now with 3:15 to play in the third period. And it will be possession Valley off the face-off violation going against Swift Current. And man, oh man, despite being down by 2 here, Swift Current has played one heck of a game. They've had a handful of breakaways as well, but a hot goaltender for the Sturgeon, Luke Davidson, has stood tall, and he'll have to do so again as Swift Current goes in alone, and they score! Swift Current gets one right back. It's a 1-goal game once again. Jackson Beeman finds the back of the cage going 5-hole. Just as I mentioned, the lack of scoring on breakaways for Swift Current. They get another one, go in alone, and cash in. Moments after Vetterl grabbed the 2-goal advantage for the Sturgeon, Swift Current go right back the other way and get it back within 1. 2:50 to play in the third period. It's possession Wolverines. Drive down low, they jump across, they put it wide though. That was Paul Piché with hopes of putting that one into the top left corner. Instead, the rebound goes off the corner boards all the way back down into their own side of the floor. Now Isaac Rychowski with it. Swing pass to the near side. Vetterl, fresh off of his hat trick tally. Rempel comes over top. Now Vicentin with it. Return now to Vetterl. See, he loads up. Wants to get his hands free. Can't quite do so. So Rempel sends that one towards the cage just wide. Vicentin now through the middle. Backhanded shot blocked by a defender. Loose ball still up for grabs. They send a sharp angle shot wide. Now just over 2 minutes to play. We'll see if Mason Hawks will make his way towards the bench momentarily here. 2 minutes to play. He'll remain in his crease as it's swift current possession from behind the Valley net. Pass to Pribble, now cutting through. Gets a shot off, pulls it just wide. Loose ball collected off the rebound. Zenedine driving down low, can't get anything on target before stepping through the crease. Now 1:45 to play, possession Sturgeon. Narrowly avoiding the back overcall. They'll continue to battle for the loose ball, though. Valley eating a lot of their shot clock, and a turnover will send Swift Current the other way. A sub shot from distance in transition, saved by Davidson. Denies Lane Cadre what would have been his second. Now Valley again going the other way. A hip check through the middle. Stopping Tristan Denal in his tracks. Just over a minute to play. Wolverine possession. They lose it though as it gets jarred free off the stick check from Rychowski. Now under a minute to play. Still a 1-goal game in favor of the Sturgeon. Here's Rempel with it. Eating clock here from the perimeter. Jeremiah Gibbs has to take that one off the deflection, and he'll send it back over to his right. Now Vetterl. 12 seconds on the shot clock. 40 seconds in the game. Vetterl, one-hand flip down low to the corner. Shot saved by Hawks. Loose ball up for grabs now. Vetterl collects it off the backhand flip now to the corner. Rychowski will grab it. Loose ball. Now goes the way of Swift Current. They want the timeout call, and they will get it with 22.8 seconds to play. Swift Current calls a timeout, looking for the game's tying goal. And man, oh man, just a moment ago, Everett Vetterl had the loose ball off the rebound. Don't think he realized they got the reset because he just threw a backhanded flip pass into the far side corner. If he had hung on to that one, he could have iced this game. Now he leaves it into the hands of his defenders as they need to stare down this Swift Current offense one more time. As they draw up their play, and a great look at both benches there thanks to our cameraman extraordinaire, George Para, from our broadcast booth here in the John Bailey Arena. But those Valley Sturgeon need one more stop to seal the victory here in their first game in the MacDonaldCup, live from the John Bailey Arena. If you're able to get down here, if you're a local viewer, make sure you do here, folks. There is some high quality lacrosse going on in Poco. But if you can't, if you're watching from afar, BC Sports TV will have you covered. So slow things down. Under 15 seconds to play now. Zenedine with it. He works his way into the offensive zone. Ball goes to the far side. 6 seconds to play. Now they'll start their motion. Pribble has that shot go wide. It ends up on target. Davidson will send it the length of the floor, and they will close it out as Luke Davidson slides to his left in celebration. What a game here between the Valley Sturgeon and the Swift Current Wolverines, who fall just short. 9-8 is your final. Again, thank you to everybody for joining us here on BC Sports TV. We are going to be here all the week long, bringing you all the action from the MacDonaldCup, and we hope you join us for as much of it as you can. But that's going to do it for day number 1. We'll see you again bright and early tomorrow morning. For our entire cast and crew, for cameraman extraordinaire George Para, I've been Tino Farah, and we will see you next time.